Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. Today I wanted to show how I use Kilohearts Phase Plant to create dynamic sound effects using examples from a recent sound design project I was tasked with. Firstly, if you haven't heard of Phase Plant before, it's an incredibly powerful semi-modular synth from the folks over at Kilohearts with sampling, wavetable and granular capabilities. And recently I have found it to be a very versatile solution to many sound design needs, so I would highly recommend checking it out for yourself. I'm sure a lot of you have already come across this synth, but I hope this video still sparks some inspiration that you can draw upon in your projects. In this recent project, I was tasked with creating the sound effects for the trailer of a game located in a theme park, and I found myself reaching for Phase Plant's granular module to achieve the more dynamic and complex sounds. While unfortunately I can't show you the accompanying trailer footage, I have two examples of these sounds that I'm going to break down for you now. So to achieve this earth rumbling sound effect, I found a library sound of debris being displaced, dropping that into Phase Plant's granular generator. Now, as anyone who has used granular synthesis can attest, what follows is frivolous tweaking of the grain size, position, and behavior until you find a fundamental sound that you're happy with. From there, it was a case of adding effects to enhance this sound, as well as adjusting parameters so that the audio mirrors what we see on screen. And the final swelling and rumbling effect that you hear comes from a combination of filtering, shaper distortion, frequency shifting, and gain. I find frequency shifting to be a cleaner way of adjusting the pitch of a more complex sound, as it retains the transients and quality better than a regular pitch shifter. By attaching parameters such as filter cutoff, frequency, and gain to macros within Phase Plant, we now have the ability to accurately manipulate the sound to fit an image using automation. While the principles of creating this were mostly the same as before, I found the process of building this particular effect further highlights Phase Plant's impressive capabilities. A useful feature for me is the ability to layer seemingly unlimited generators within one instance of the plugin. Therefore, when building a sound such as a roller coaster that contains multiple complex layers, it was a no-brainer. To achieve the fundamental layer of the coaster on the railroad track, I used the sound of a skateboard within the granular generator. On its own, it sounds fairly obvious, however the additional layers of people on the ride provides the context that turns the skateboard into quite a convincing roller coaster. Another advantage to Phase Plant is its versatile routing system, where you can choose to send the output of a generator to a specific effect lane, allowing separate layers to be processed differently. The way I utilised this was by splitting the sound of the coaster from the sound of the people, providing a more natural result. As before, I wanted to manipulate the sound to fit the image, however this time I only used one macro that I aptly named Excitement, in order to mirror the loops, twists and turns you experience on a roller coaster. Luckily, Phase Plant makes it so that a single macro can control parameters in varying amounts, as seen by the orange dials below it. Therefore, I attached the macro to the volume and frequency shift amount of both the coaster and the people, creating an organic and cohesive evolving sound. Anyway, I think I'm going to leave this video here. I could go on and on about Phase Plant, and this video really only scratches the surface of what you can do with it. However, I thought it was worth sharing some of the ways that I design sound using this tool, so I hope you found it insightful. Take care everyone, and I'll see you in the next one.